Hi everyone, Victor here again, and in today's lesson we'll be looking at what Ansible inventory is and how to create one. Like we discussed in our first lesson, Ansible inventory is a repository that hosts the Ansible managed host. The managed host can be specified in the inventory file by the IP addresses or fully qualified domain name. For example, if you have two managed hosts with the IP addresses and FQDN of these, which is 192.168.72.11 with server 1.technique.com and 192.168.72.12 with server 2.technique.com, you can create an inventory file, with the name, for example, Ansible inventory, and then you can specify the managed host either by their IPs or by their FQDN. Let's create an Ansible inventory file. Ansible supports the INI data structure when creating an inventory file. Ansible also supports any type of data structure though. I'm going to create an inventory file with the name Ansible inventory. So I can just say Ansible vi Ansible inventory. So for me to specify for server1.technique.com, I will just put it in the INI data structure format. So I can say server1.technique.com or server2.technique.com. Like I said, you can specify an inventory. You can specify a managed host either by their FQDN or by their IP addresses. So you can also, let's say we have another server which is, which we're going to be specifying by an IP address. So I can just say 72.144 and I can save this file. So to confirm, I can just say Ansible dash dash list hosts all hosts. I want to list the all hosts in the inventory, which is dash I Ansible inventory. So you can see that in the inventory file, we have three hosts, which are server 1, server 2, and the one that is listed with the IP address. We can also group the managed hosts in the inventory file. So let's say you have some set of hosts which are front-end hosts. You can group them in the inventory file. So let's just open this file again and I can, come here and then put the host in a group. So I can just say front end group and I can put in the managed host. This can be server3.technique.com and server4.technique.com. So I can save this file, and when I run this command again, so I can either run this command as against the front end group only, or I can just do all. If I do all, you can see all the hosts that we have in the managed. I mean, all the hosts that we have in the inventory. You can see that we have 5 hosts all together. So if I wish, I can just run this command against the front end group only. Front end, and you can see that it's going to list the host in the front end group. So let's open this inventory file again. So after front end, I can also add backend group. So I can say backend. If I wish, I can leave a space, and if I don't want to leave a space, it is also fine. But I just like to do my things neat, and that's why I'm leaving a space. So here I can say server5.technique.com and server6.technique.com. I can save this file and then I can run this command again for all. So you can see that we have 7 hosts. And if I want to run it as against the backend group only, I can just say backend. You can see that we have 2 hosts for the backend group. And to add a single host and grouped host in the inventory file, we should make sure. So if you see here, we have both single host and grouped host. So if I want to add another single host, we should make sure that the hosts are being listed at the beginning of the file. Because if you come here, right, if you come here, for example, and you put in another host, let me just look for another IP address, 72.44, for example. If you put in another IP, Ansible will not see this as a single managed host. Ansible will group it with the backend, with the backend group. So whenever you want to add an individual or single host, it has to be at the beginning of the file. So we can also put a group of managed hosts inside a group, and this is called nesting or nested group. So for example, I can have another group, I can say production, and then because I want to put the front end group and the back end group inside a production group, I need to specify it as children, meaning that the front end and the back end are children to production. And now I can say front end, front end, back end. So I can, save this file. And if I do Ansible list, let's say front end, or let's say production, we can see that we have 4 hosts in the production nested group because 2 hosts belongs to the one for front end and another 2 hosts belongs to the one for back end. And one thing you can also do again is that a managed host can be in 2 different groups. So for example, if I you can see that for the front end group, I have server4.technique.com, which is this. So I can decide to add this group again in another group. So I can just say server4.technique.com. And if I save this file, so I can do all or for backend. So you can see that we have the managed host being listed. Another thing we can do is that if we want to check the host in a graphical manner, I can just say Ansible inventory dash dash graph. So this is for all groups, and it's showing me for the ungrouped group. Anyways, let's use Ansible Navigator because this is the new tool. So I'm just going to say Ansible Navigator, that's inventory, Ansible inventory. Oops. Issues were found applying blah blah blah. Configuration failed using default. Okay, so where okay, I think we have an error with the way we used the command. Okay, let me just Ansible Navigator inventory. Ansible Navigator inventory. Okay, so all right, so it's been out now. So we can do 0, which is to browse groups, and we can do 1, which is to browse hosts. So if I want to browse my host, I'll just say 1. You can see the list of the managed host. And if I want to go back, I'll just say escape. And if I want to browse groups, I would just press 0. You can see the groups that we have. And if I'm done, I will just press escape. So this is how I'm going to use the Ansible Navigator tool. And I can also press escape to go back to my command line. And what I can also do is to use this command, Ansible Navigator, Ansible Inventory. I can say put it in the standard output, and I can say list. So it's taking its time, so you can see the list of the host. So thank you for watching. All right, before I round this off, what we've been doing so far, right, is creating an inventory file in a static way. So there are two types, there are two ways in which an Ansible inventory file can be created. One way is creating a static inventory, which we have been doing so far, and another way is creating an inventory file by using dynamic way, and that's dynamic inventory. So that would require writing a script to create an inventory file. And creating an inventory file in the dynamic way is out of the scope of the study. So thank you once more for watching. I'm going to see you in the lesson, and don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment. When you do this, you encourage us to do more. And bye for now.